we're going to get right into our first amazing poet. It is Fern Metcalf.
I want to thank everyone for coming out. Thank you to Austen House, Victoria Monroe, and TURNOUT NYC. If you're inclined to clap after every poem, I'm going to ask if you would wait until the very end, because I'm going to take you on a journey, and I would prefer you lean in and take this journey with me. This is a series of poems that I wrote with one theme in mind. It will explain itself as I go along. The Arrival, or Just Another Saturday to some. When I found out what I would be when I arrived, I was told only certain humans have pets. Get one. Pets know when humans are in trouble before they do. So I got a cat and I named her Giza. Dawn. It's almost dawn. Giza is roaming around, howling like a wolf at the full moon. Laying there, I wonder what the matter might be. My unborn child answers by moving into position. They call it dropping. The thing I've been waiting for now becomes a fearful idea. I wake the fam, I hear myself telling them, it's time. I decide to shower first. It's about as hot as I can stand it, my head up, water vapors engulf me, my nerves calming. The shower valve breaks off and water is splashing everywhere as I look down. I escape through the steam without a slip, stepping into my clothes, grabbing my watch. As we exit the door, I notice Giza has parked herself under the unused crib, howling still. There is something strange about the actions of humans when there is an urgency to the matter. Everything becomes an out-of-body animated experience. Flight. Only 2 flights up, I take to the stairs, remembering how I used to take them 2 by 2, rushing down, laughing to myself, thinking, I've been here before. And knowing the last moments I have to share my body will seem like forever. Part of me is sad, part of me has already posted the eviction notice. I've discovered you in our one-in-one talks without words. I know what you like, I know what makes you sick. The air is brisk, the leaves are falling. He decides the car needs a 60-minute warm-up. At least it seemed like 60 minutes to me. The next contraction advises me to advise him this is not the time to warm up the car. The wet road ahead exists as a slow-motion portal towards the discovery of the one thing I have chosen not to know from modern science. I read the reports filed under disparities in healthcare. The infant mortality ratio for infants born to African American mothers is more than 3 times as high as the infant mortality ratio for infants born to white mothers. Still, I choose to be a sacred vessel. The room. Undressed and gowned in the birthing room, my brother arrives to take my daughter home with him. At age 10, she has it in her head that she wants to bear witness to the miracle. Feeling bad, I sent her on her way. I will find out 14 years from now, when she is gowned in her birthing room, that bearing witness is not a good thing to do. Tick-tock on the clock, a quick check by the doctor reveals I'm not quite ready yet. Logic tells me standing would speed the baby's exit. The nurses insist on attaching a fetal heart rate contraction monitor. Tick-tock on the clock, another check reveals I am dilating ever so slowly. They suggest nipple stimulation and leave the room. The monitor's needle speeds to the top of the page. My nipples shield themselves. As a human, I am always made aware of the messages my body I chose tries to send me. Today she screams. Early visitors. I'm stuck in what seems like the same position that got me here, feeling rocketed pulsations that are not enticing endorphins to claim me. I yield to the heat that is exacted with the same inviting passion, precision to cause me to snatch my clothes off with a next thing I know is tight memory. 3. Numerology has the number 3 listed as a number of creativity. Ain't nothing natural about screaming, sweating, and breathing hard for the wrong reasons. I've been here before. It was cold when I got here and I was shy. Now I'm chewing on ice, and my gown appears to be twisted backwards around my neck like a scarf. I hear voices in the room, but the only thing I focus on is when and who has the needle that only the clock can permission to use. Unbeknownst to me, 3 entities have followed me into the birthing room. Maternal symphysiotomy, aka the cut from front to back. Intentional fetal clavicular fracture, aka the need to break the child's collarbone. And pain, disguised as glee, wait patiently. They told me everything they did was just routine. Due to your high tolerance for pain, we are going to send you home tomorrow. Just sign here. Just routine. Recovery is uncomfortable. Sometimes the surgical incision is more extensive than a natural tear would have been. Infection is possible, can cause pain during sex for months after delivery. Might also contribute to fecal incontinence after childbirth. Routine episiotomies are no longer recommended. Nothing about them are just routine. I am told power is the ability to move people or things. I become aware. Now is the time to use my power. An acute awareness. Don't know how many contractions per minute I am experiencing at a Usain Bolt-like pace, pulsing, breathing, pacing, not making much of a difference. I discover an epidural does not save you from pain. Resting between contractions, I become aware of the monitor's needle measuring when the contractions would arrive, and the severity of them heightens the stress for both of us. The lights above are blinding, and there are pockmarks on the ceilings that is badly in need of a paint job. Tick-tock on the clock at 90 minutes, the doctor's face is all sweat. The nurse's whispers reveal we may have a problem. The doctor yells at me saying, "You're breaking my arm." The nurses look nervous, afraid even. I find myself in not quite the same position that got me here, though at first glance, it certainly looks that way. Overhearing the explanation to the student nurse, turtling is when the baby's head bobs in and out of the birth canal. My power intuited the urgent need to extend itself outside the room, as it was clear that another supreme being was needed. Voices. I hear voices, everyone sounds alarmed. Instinctively I focus on our heartbeat. Help me push. Come out now. You know me. You know what hurts me. I keep hearing them speak about the turtle sign. Must have missed it in my research of what to expect. I did a lot of reading while waiting for you. In order for the fetus to exit the body, the womb needs to be dilated at least 10 centimeters. Symphysiotomy allows for 2 extra centimeters. They did the damn thing. Everything happened at lightning speed. My power searched the hallways. Summoning. Symphysiotomy. It's risky, painful, could cause bladder injury, infection, and long-term walking difficulty. It's risky, though it causes a temporary increase in pelvic diameter by 2 centimeters. It's risky, a barbarous operation. Doctors complain that it's been evaluated only by personal experience rather than formal trials. It's risky. The history of the procedure shows there should be trials. I was put at risk. Folks should be convicted. Power always finds power. A nurse was running to get help, any help. She ran into him in the hallway. He was here for a boring seminar on which he was considered an expert. Extraordinary treatment measures. He came into the room rolling up his sleeves. Zavanelli maneuver is what he said before he shouted for them to stand back, rotating the head, flexing and snapping the collarbone, allowed for your exit from me and entry into the world. On paper, they called it an intentional fetal clavicular fracture. I call it trauma. It is sometimes not a safe harbor to retreat into the mind if you are looking to avoid pain. It is even more dangerous to not let the mind exercise its power to get you to a safe haven. It was intentional. Maternal symphysiotomy makes the opening of the birth canal laxer for breaking the connective tissue between the two pubis bones. If they had told me this, I might have been more careful. Breaking the collarbone reduces the diameter of the shoulder girdle to allow the fetus to pass through the birth canal. The baby was damn near 10 pounds. Should I have eaten less or eaten differently? Was this my genetic fault? Most clavicle fractures in newborns heal very quickly without any problems, usually. Can I trust my hearing at this point? No treatment is required. Pin the child's sleeve of the infected arm to the front of their clothing to avoid moving during the healing period. I didn't get instructions when I brought the first child home. While I wait to see you, to explain, I research the numbers, only to find out I am not the only one. Mortality. This year, the infant mortality rate will be the lowest it's ever been in the United States. This year, 36,766 infants will die in childbirth or in the first year of their life. This year, for Black infants, the rate will decrease only 0.04%. This year, the risk for dying during the first year of life will be 2.4 times greater for Black infants. It is at this moment I wonder if you will make it. Thank you for listening.
Let's hear it for Fern Metcalf.